Late nights in New Orleans. Mm. Some voices entertain the city. Some voices changing. You already know who on the air tonight. Gerod. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. French Quarter nights with the rain coming down. Whole city talk, but the truth stay underground. Funny how the silence break whenever he speak. Certain conversations never make the TV. Voice through the speakers got the whole city tuned. Higher ups nervous every time he hit the room. Cause he say what the people been feeling for years. Bringing light to the stories they don't want us to hear. From the uptown lights to the night war pain. Every word hit different when it cut through the rain. Everybody know the truth, you never said aloud. Till Gerard hit the airwaves and it shook the whole town. And the streets keep calling through the static in the night. Every word feel different when Gerard go live. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Streetcars roll while the city stay awake. Everybody got a story, everybody got weight. Funny how the phones go quiet when he name names. Funny how the pressure rise when he shift the conversation. He talk schools, streets, money disappearing. Backdoor deals that the public ain't hearing. Things get buried when the cameras don't roll, but the people tune in cause Gerard let it unfold. From the jazz in the streets to the smoke in the sky. New Orleans still fighting, still holding it high. And the city feels seen every time that he speak. Cause the truth hit harder when it finally run deep. Now the whole town riding with the station on loud. Hands high while they sing every word through the crowd. Can you feel the city breathing? Every late night conversation. Through the speakers, through the rain. Ooh, New Orleans, don't sound the same. Gerard on the radio. Whole city vibing slow. Late night lights in New Orleans glow. Everybody listen close. Gerard on the radio. Truth in the speakers for sure. From the bayou streets to the corner store. Whole city locked in. Yeah. You're now rocking with Gerard, the voice they couldn't silence. New Orleans, stand up.
Yeah. Oh, everybody bumping it, bumping it, bumping it, bumping it, bumping it, and bumping their head. They're bumping their head. Bumping, like, yeah.
It's a jam. It's a vibe. I do love it.
It's just the way you were looking at me right then, like, you're
Well, I didn't know what you were trying to stutter out of your mouth.
Everybody was bumping, stutter out your mouth. Ain't that song?
Yeah, I mean,
everybody was bumping their head. Yeah, at the same time. How you doing?
I am doing much better.
No. Let me ask you the same way that you picked with me about. Well, how are you doing?
Oh, Gerard, thank you so much for asking. I am doing much better.
Happy to see you.
I'm happy to be seen, bro.
I was worried about you.
Oh my goodness. So the story is I went to Houston to visit my daughter, and brand new home has mold in it.
Brand
new home. New construction. We had to get a certified mold debater to come out there and get the contractor involved. Anyway, it triggered my asthma. I had a horrible asthma attack. and I have been fighting it ever since.
You see my face. Your asthma attack triggered me.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, it did trigger you. It did trigger you. But I'm doing much better. But if I do walk off the Facebook feed for a moment, it's because I've started coughing. But I will be back. I'm doing much better.
I'm going to make it up. I'm going to make something up. I'm going to be like, these people that called in and made you walk off.
Well, you know that's what people assume. They always assume the worst.
I'm going to make this up.
That's not what it is, folks.
These folks are going to be like saying some craziness, and then you're going to walk off at the same time. And I'm going to be like, see what you did? You made her walk off.
Now, y'all should know better. I'm from the Ninth Ward. I'm never backing down from controversy or
the
fight.
Ninth Ward.
Always ready. Always ready to deal with it. So, no, that's not the issue. The issue is I'm still recovering. I'm still under the weather. But I am happy to be back because I really missed y'all.
We missed you.
And there's been some really big things going down. And things that we really needed to talk about and analyze and educate about. But the entire time I've been out sick, I've still been working, as you all will see, at 6 o'clock today.
So we need to talk about that. I don't know how much you can talk about it because I didn't say anything. And I got a photo.
You do have a photo.
Can I post it?
You can post it.
All right, I'm going to post it. As you talk about it, I'm going to post it. But this has been a lot of work.
A lot of work.
A lot of work. And tonight, this is not going to be the end of the work.
No, it's the beginning.
It's the beginning of the work. And it's going to show. Okay, I'm going to just be quiet.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to frame the issue. Tonight at 6 p.m. On WWL-TV, you will see an exclusive interview between David Hammer and my client, Detective Chad Cockerham. The reason why I allowed my client to sit down for this exclusive interview is, one, we have nothing to hide.
Nope.
Two, we want to expose the truth.
Right. Tired of the lies.
Correct. And three, we needed to set the record straight because all reporting is not investigative reporting.
That's the part that gets me.
Reporting allegations is not investigating facts.
Making just assumptions and what you think and coming forward and pretending that you're something that you're not. Even some of the folks that are going to be mentioned in this story. I'm so tired of hearing that. And I'm so glad. Listen, you might not agree with everything that Mr. Hammer has done in the past or as far as an investigative reporter. But I got to tell you, and I told him to his face, you know I did, because we were in your office. I told him, I said, brother, what has happened to the investigative reporters here in the city? It's like you and Lee. And Lee has gone to a national level. What is it with these other folks? They're saying they're doing investigative reporting. No, they're not.
No, they're just reading allegations.
They're just reading what was given to them by the other side, so that they can get the jump on public opinion. You know,
so they're not even looking at the fact of the timing of all of this. So let's back it up. On June 5th, 2026, there was a civil service hearing involving my client, Chad Cockerham. This investigation or this appeal was of his termination, where he was terminated for alleged dishonesty after investigators concluded he lied about submitting an anonymous complaint regarding cheating on a promotional exam at NOPD. After that, for whatever reason, the OIG decided to release a report. And that report was released while I was in Houston. I got a call about the report from an investigative reporter on Fox 8. And he starts asking me about this OIG report that I had not seen. It had not been provided to me. It had not been provided to my client. And so I begin by telling him, I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, end up getting a copy of the report from David Hammer, because when he calls to ask you a question about it,
Right.
he sends you a copy of it so you can review it.
And you're talking about another reporter.
Another reporter from WWL.
Channel 4. Right.
So I am answering David's questions. I'm answering the Fox 8 reporter's questions. I am noticing that the Fox 8 reporter has no underlying documentation to support any of the questions he's asking me. He is just going off of whatever is being stated in this OIG report.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas David Hammer has pulled the underlying documents. He's actually looking at the payroll records. He's actually looking at the underlying evidence when he's asking me the questions. So we have these two various and different interviews going on. So when I get back to New Orleans, I've already been on the news 3-4 times with regard to the calls I got from the Fox 8 reporter and David.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got back, I decided to allow my client to sit down with David Hammer for several hours and to be able to show him the supporting documentation that supports every fact coming out of his mouth. After the interview, David continued to ask him questions for several more days.
Mm-hmm.
Because as he was following up as to where the story led him, he had additional questions. So tonight, we will see the story as it airs at 6 p.m. As Chad Cockerham sat down with David Hammer. I just find it curious that this OIG report came out in between the time of the first half of Chad Cockerham's civil service appeal hearing and the second, which is scheduled for tomorrow.
Not Friday.
Oh, Friday. That's right. I keep losing my days of the week.
That's all right.
So, think about this. I want you to get the chronology. The chronology is that we have the hearing on June the 5th. Then subsequently, the OIG releases this report that was replete with falsehoods and misrepresentations. Then we have all this news reporting before the second half of his civil service hearing,
Right.
which is this Friday.
Why was that coming up first before this hearing?
I think they were trying to taint the process and put their finger on the scale. But what ended up happening is it ended up slapping them in the face because they had not provided these reporters with any supporting documentation to support any of the allegations made in the OIG report. We were able to provide him with the evidence to show him that these allegations were indeed false.
He walked out of there with a binder.
With a binder filled with documents.
Yep.
So, we had the receipts. Now, what's going to happen on Friday? I want to talk about that. The second half of this civil service appeal will occur on Friday at 1340 Poydras, 9 a.m., 9th floor. And we will be presenting a computer expert because one of the things that came out of this civil service appeal was the primary question of whether or not the anonymous complaint was filed by Detective Cockerham. As the hearing began on June 5th, the hearing officer made it very clear that that was one of the central issues in the case. The city claims it was relying upon metadata, which traced the anonymous complaint to Chad's home, to his router, but it did not trace it to his computer. So they didn't bring a computer expert, and the person they had testifying about metadata ended up admitting he didn't know what metadata was.
But you testifying about it.
Right. So we are bringing a computer expert to testify at the hearing on Friday who will be able to explain that while both computers utilize the same home Wi-Fi router, sharing an internet connection does not identify an individual computer or the individual person who authored or transmitted a document. In fact, our computer expert will testify that the forensic evidence demonstrates that the anonymous complaint did not originate from Chad Cockerham's computer. It originated from his wife, Asata Cockerham's Apple Mac computer. That directly contradicts the city's assumption that based upon the internet account in Chad Cockerham's name, that he must have been the person who submitted the report.
Right.
So we look forward to presenting the testimony of a computer expert, not someone who's just uneducated on metadata.
What got me in this, though, was the fact that you're in a civil service hearing and you work for an investigative agency, which is the Office of the Inspector General, which this was not supposed to be thrown out to a third party in the first place.
That violates NOPD's rules.
Right. So that ain't on them. That's actually on the superintendent, because she wasn't supposed to violate those rules.
It's quite shocking to me that the city's entire case against Chad Cockerham was based on metadata.
And you have an expert witness about metadata that has no indication on what metadata is.
He has no idea. He's not even an expert witness. He's a fact witness trying to pretend to be an expert witness, is what we learned at the last hearing. So we're bringing a real computer expert who will be able to educate the hearing officer with regard to the difference between a router and actually tracing something to an actual computer. So we look forward to this. Our expert's name is Dr. Millsaps, and she will be there on Friday to testify. Additionally, we will be presenting the testimony of Mrs. Asata Cockerham,
Who is the wife,
who will testify that she indeed made the anonymous complaint.
Let's discuss that. So, why at that point is an agency that is claiming to folks that you can write complaints about whatever to the agency and it will be anonymous? And you're digging by not only just going and getting the folks that wrote the complaint, but you're also digging into their personal cell phone information, their accounts with internet. You're digging to find out not what the problem is with the account or what the problem is with somebody saying something. You're digging to find out who sent it.
There's a problem with this. You know, it underlies the whole point of people providing anonymous information, like to Crime Stoppers or to NOPD. You say you want people to come forward and you want them to be transparent and you want them to blow the whistle on corruption in your department. You promise them that when they come forward, their complaints will be anonymous and that their privacy will be protected. But what we have learned is that anonymous complaints are not anonymous but made to NOPD, that they are then utilized to weaponize against the people who filed the complaint. That's very disappointing. That is not the way the process is supposed to work. And we all should be troubled by the fact that the process did indeed work that way. So we're going to present the testimony of Asata Cockerham, who should have been left to remain anonymous for the integrity of providing information to the police department. But she will come forward and she will testify that she's married to Chad Cockerham.
Because that was one of the rumors.
Yes, they live together in their home, because now they're trying to assault their character by saying they're not together when they are. She uses the home internet. She has unrestricted access to the internet. The internet is in Chad's name, but she uses computers and she emails from her own computer at the house.
Very smart.
Utilizing the same router.
Yeah. And
she's familiar with the anonymous reporting, and she indeed filed the complaint.
All right, we got to take a break here. We'll take the break. We'll take some of your telephone calls, too. 504-582-9422 for all those that want to go on my Facebook page. You actually can go now and see the photo that we're talking about. So you'll see that as they sit across from one another and have that conversation.
And you
in
can
your
see all the
office.
documents in
Yep.
front of Chad. He
Yep.
was ready.
Yep. So come on, y'all. Get the calls going. 504-582-9422. More coming up.
Hey, this is Steve Poston. Be sure to listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and Sunday evening at 5 p.m., bringing you the best Southern Soul barroom music with the Southern Soul Weekend Party Mix, hosted by me, of course. I'll be playing your favorite Southern Soul music by artists from all over the South, right here on WBOK 1230 AM or online at WBOK1230.com. The station you listen to longer. Listen to longer. Listen to longer.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
Greetings and salutations. I am Edward B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
Greetings, New Orleans. It's Jamar McNeely, CEO of Inspire NOLA. Join us for our annual Inspire the City Backpack Giveaway on Saturday, July 25th, beginning at 10 a.m. at McDonough 35 Senior High School. Students will receive a free backpack filled with school supplies while supplies last. We also have limited laptops, gas cards, and more. Be there Saturday, July 25th, 10 a.m. at McDonough 35 Senior High School. Let's inspire the city.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. What's today, Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday, right? Yeah. 504-582-9422. She's back in the air chair, the attorney extraordinaire. And Noonie on line one. What's happening with you?
What's happening, Gerard? How you doing?
Good, Doctor. How you?
About to sue Suzette.
You about to sue her?
Yeah, because she be missing in action, and I be needing my legal person. You know what I'm saying? I understand she got to go with the grandbaby. I know she got other things, but she can't be leaving her WBOK family, you know. She hurt my feelings yesterday. I was looking for my legal counsel.
Mm-hmm.
I missed y'all. I missed y'all too. When I'm not here, believe me, I miss y'all. And when I'm not here, I'm usually listening and on the Facebook feed.
So, you know I got to be messy today.
Come on.
I hear Dave Hammer about to set it off. Now, I hear at 6 o'clock Dave Hammer coming with it. But I heard you, Suzette, on the air. And what they did to Mr. Chad, they better be ready for it. Because what I like about you, Suzette, you bring that fire. You bring that smoke, and you ain't scared of nobody. That's what I like about you, and that's what people want in a real attorney, you know. But Ann Kirkpatrick, she should be put in jail for perjury. The inspector general, man, he should go to jail for lying, too, because y'all messing with a good officer livelihood. And Channel 4, Channel 6, Channel 8, the Metro Commission, and the Inspector General, and the Line Police Chief all tried to destroy this man. Destroyed 20-something years of this man being on the force, busting big games, big games, and doing his job, you know what I'm saying? And I stand for right. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. And Mr. Chad, to me, is right. I put all the evidence. I plan on being there Friday. I cancel my doctor appointment. I want to be there because I missed the last time, and they told me I missed the Dog and Pony show because Ann Kirkpatrick was lying, you know, and it's very hurtful to see when they're messing with somebody real livelihood. So I'm glad he got you, Suzette. I'm glad Gerard and WBOK been doing it for Mr. Chad Cockenham because we need to get to the truth, and we know Chad is telling the truth because I listened to the brother on WBOK. He didn't cut no corners. others. He didn't appear to be lying to me. And I have talked to people who work with the FBI, and they're even saying that Ed Kirkpatrick and the NOPD lied. Jason Williams' office refused to prosecute. Liz Morella, Ku Klux Klan, refused to prosecute Chad because they know they didn't have nothing on this man. So it's disgrace. And you know this other cop they called Burt Gerod, the one they had on the overtime?
Yeah,
Jason Williams then refused the case.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, people should look at that. They put that man all over the news, accused him of payroll fraud based on the chemistry teacher's suggestions, destroyed his reputation, and then fired him, and then brought charges against him, felony charges against him, and Jason would not take them, refused to take them.
And then they went to the Attorney General office, what I heard, and went for the cops and tried to get her to take it, and she refused to take it. And when I tell people, I don't defend black cops if they're still in overtime, but what about all these white boys that's still in overtime? You know, it's a disgrace what they're doing to Chad, because how many Chads do we have in NOPD that they're doing to this? So I respect Mr. Cockingham from standing up, but they're probably doing this to a lot. And we know Ann Kirkpatrick lied in Oakland, California. We know she has a history of racism and lying. And at the end of the day, it's about to all come true. So tonight, I'm going to be tuned to my TV.
Oakland, California, and Spokane, Washington, we know about. Her pattern of conduct, doing these same things. And what's really troubling to me is they terminated Chad Cockerham because they said he was dishonest. But yet, I need somebody to investigate Ann Kirkpatrick, and I need somebody to investigate the OIG's office, because they have presented false evidence that we have proven to be false in this case.
It's perjury.
They have committed perjury in this case. I'll give you an example. Exhibit number 4, NOPD exhibit number 4 in the Civil Service Appeal. It's called a Memorandum of Interview. On its face, it says that the interview occurred on January 27th, 2025. It says the memorandum was prepared on January 27th, 2025. The city introduced the document, and someone testified, Kenneth Petrol testified, he created the document, and he says it was contemporaneous with a telephone call he had with Cockerham on January 27th. Well, come to find out, Cockerham's telephone records show, his Verizon records show, that the call did not occur on January 27th. It occurred on January 29th. But the metadata from this document shows that it was created on April 24th, 2025.
Wow.
That is dishonesty. That is a fraudulent, false document introduced into evidence under penalty of perjury. Why isn't anybody investigating the OIG, Kenneth Petrol, and Ann Kirkpatrick for this?
That's right. And the other thing is, Suzette, I don't know if you missed it, but John Thompson has wrote a letter and got a control number and a PIB number, and his complaint is awesome. And he got the number, but the complaint's sitting there. Then they got another anonymous complaint on the police chief, and they have did nothing yet. And if people didn't read John Thompson's letter, it's a smoking letter. It's a disgrace.
I read it on air.
Oh, yeah. So Gerard read it on the air, and that was that. And I'm trying to get this other anonymous letter for y'all so we can read it on the air. And that's 2 complaints against Ann Kirkpatrick. But my thing is, the Inspector General, I think he's violating officers' Bill of Rights, Suzette, because she throw the cases to him. And at the end of the day, some of these cases not even going to the Inspector General. So what you're saying, PIB can't do their job?
Well, the law states that PIB is supposed to be the investigative source or agency when these complaints happen, and you can't have a outsourced third party. The OIG is an outsourced third party.
But Ann Kirkpatrick
right.
testified under oath. She doesn't care that she's violating the NOPD policy manual, that she can do whatever she wants to do.
Yep.
That is right there. So she's saying she can do whatever she can do. So she's saying she can violate anybody's rights. She's saying like she can abuse her power. And it's sad, you know what I'm saying? Because Mr. Cockingham got to live with his family and not any sideline this man. So I hope he sue the pants off him. I hope he sue him and break the bank.
Well, I hope everyone sees a very clear pattern of conduct. And I hope that they also see that the only officers being accused of payroll fraud by this superintendent are black.
Right. And
That's
the chemistry teacher has finally been served.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, what? Wait. Oh, the chemistry teacher been served?
Yes.
So we sued him in Chad Cockerham's case, and he was finally served. So now he'll have to come to a court of law to answer for when he created these documents, how he created these documents. Was he doing it on UNO's time?
Did he have his students to participate into this? Because that's what's coming back to me, that his students did the work.
And why is he only targeting black officers who make over $200,000 a year?
And how are you, a chemistry teacher, qualified to be able to be a watchdog for NOPD?
That's right. And also we need to know who put him. We need his emails, who he been talking to and everything. It's adding up now. I think I know why they don't want me with the Inspector General emails, because they know I'm going to get the chemistry teacher. So y'all just broke something for me.
Yep.
Oh, that's it. I'm telling you, there is more to it. And maybe we have precedent now. Now that Ann Murrell can go after the DA's emails and she can go after judges' emails, why can't we go after the OIG's emails?
And that's what I was just about to ask you, Suzette. I'm going to talk to you off air after they give that decision, because you just gave me what I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes, indeed. All right,
well,
Nune.
All right.
Watch it at 6 o'clock, though.
I'll be there.
All right, bro.
I'm popping my popcorn early.
Get your couch
All right.
ready. All right, bro. All right, Cedric.
Hello, Gerard, and hello, counselor. You know, you kind of segue into where I wanted to go. When we're talking about the Attorney General trying to get the district attorney's email address, I want to go back to the past administration when Oliver Thomas sat on the council. He forewarned members on the council about going to the state legislature and getting them involved in New Orleans business, you know, when they got wagon spat as the state auditor. Now, to the people of New Orleans, our governor came on television yesterday and said, we think we special. We think the state is our ATM and all this kind of stuff. I want people to remember all this disrespect, the $31 million that the governor took away from different organizations throughout the city of New Orleans. Didn't this just happen 2 weeks ago? I want the voters to remember this. Who is responsible for bringing the state into our business? And that is the current mayor and the president of the city council. They are responsible for this mess. Yes, our political leaders should have done a better job with the city's funding or funds or what have you, but they were so busy going after the former mayor till they have gotten us in this pickle. And people should remember that. Thank y'all for allowing me to say that.
Well, I tell you what, Chet, I wasn't here when the news broke about the Ann Murrell thing and the being able to get the emails of the DA and of the former prosecutor who served as the prosecutor on this, former judge served as prosecutor Lori White on that grand jury. And I'm very troubled by this slippery slope. I really do think that the judge got it wrong on this, allowing that. Because one of the oldest institutions in American law is the grand jury. It exists for one purpose, to determine whether there is probable cause to charge someone with a crime. But it also serves another critically important purpose. It protects the integrity of the criminal justice system. Grand jury proceedings are conducted in secret for good reason. Witnesses are encouraged to testify freely without fear of retaliation. And the reputations of the people who are investigated but never indicted are protected. The jurors who sit on a grand jury are insulated from outside influence, and prosecutors can present evidence without public interference. That secrecy is not just a technicality, it's the cornerstone of the American criminal justice system.
Okay.
So now, in a criminal case involving Louisiana Attorney General Liz Muriel, the defense has sought subpoenas for communications involving the Orleans Parish District Attorney and the special prosecutor. Whether those subpoenas are ultimately appropriate, I guess, is a question for the court. But to me, it crosses the line. You are allowing someone who has been indicted a greater privilege than another person who might be indicted to be able to go into communications of what's supposed to be held in grand jury secrecy.
So let me ask you this.
You're piercing it.
Let me ask you this. Not to cut you off on that, but can Susan Hudson, can her attorney file the same and say, I want to know who filed the indictment against me, and I need all the emails, I need all the telephone calls, I need all of this, and all of this information that you're going to use for discovery in my case.
Not just Susan Hudson, my cousin Pookie.
You know Pookie?
Okay.
I didn't know you was related to Pookie.
My cousin Pookie and them.
Pookie and them.
They should be able to do the same.
That's
this is
my
why.
boy. Pookie got indicted.
Look, Pookie stay in trouble.
Damn, Pookie.
My mom and them mad. My cousin Pookie should be able to have the same privilege
if they do it for
of
her.
Ann Muriel. What makes him different?
Liz
Muriel. What makes, I'm getting my culprits mixed up.
That's all right.
Liz Muriel. What makes it different?
And the judge said yes, that they can get that information.
Yes. That is a very slippery slope. Okay? This is a very slippery slope. And I think once you start going down that slope, are you going to treat people differently just because of their title, just because of their position, just because of their bank account?
What about the former mayor? Can she now go and say, hey, y'all got this indictment on me?
I think so. I think if Attorney General Liz Muriel can do it,
then
TD ought to be able to do it.
And then I ought to be able to know who your federal prosecutor was sleeping with.
She ought to be able to get
all
those
that
emails.
information. Yep.
If I were TD's attorney,
I'd be filing
I
for
think
it.
you should be able to get the text messages and the emails among the lawyers who brought the indictment against her.
Yep.
And also see, have they also been communicating with the judge? I mean, if this is where we're going,
and I need to know
this is where we're going.
Who he was sleeping with, because I need to be able to question her too.
You need to be able to question her too. You should be able to see it all. I mean, this is a very interesting situation.
And were
if
you
you're gonna,
married?
Right. If you're going to pierce the grand jury secrecy for the benefit of Liz Muriel, then this is not something that can be easily restored.
But it's mighty quiet.
Oh, it's mighty quiet. Maybe it won't be quiet after we raise this issue on this station today. But I don't think that this former Judge Chesson recognizes the can of worms that he has now opened, because it seems now that any litigant, any indicted defendant should be able to pierce the emails, the text messages, the phone calls,
and see who the grand jury is.
Well, yeah, because now we're saying that the grand jury shouldn't be secret. I've never seen anything like this. In my 35 years of practicing law, I have never seen anything like this. The rules protecting grand jury proceedings are not designed to protect indicted defendants.
Mm-hmm.
They're designed to protect the integrity of the process itself. So, our courts are entrusted with balancing two principles at the same time. Every criminal defendant has a constitutional right to obtain evidence that's material to its defense, but they also need to protect the process. And the judge is supposed to be the person weighing the scales to keep that balance.
Right.
But here it appears a line has been crossed. And once you've crossed that line, how do you come back from it?
Right, you can't come back. Because now, if you did it for one, you're going to have to do it for all.
That's called fundamental fairness.
Right.
That's the principle of fundamental fairness.
If you do it for one, and it has nothing to do with the title that you hold. If they did it for you, you can do it for all. Or I can come to court and argue the point that you did it for this person, or better yet, start naming the cases that they did it in.
And let's be clear. The judges at criminal district court had recused themselves, right, from this issue. So the judge who approved the subpoenas is a retired Louisiana Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal judge, Robert Chasson.
Mm-hmm.
The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal is Jefferson Parish. That's where that sits. His former bench was over there in Gretna, in Jefferson Parish.
What does that say to you?
Now, when the judges recuse themselves, the process is that the Louisiana Supreme Court steps in to appoint another judge to preside.
Right.
Our conservative Louisiana Supreme Court decided to reach across the river and appoint Judge Robert Chasson to preside over Attorney General Liz Murrell's criminal case after every Orleans Parish Criminal District Court judge recused themselves. So it's important to distinguish what Judge Chasson actually did from what some of the support suggests.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Chasson approved the issuance of the subpoenas requested by Murrell's attorneys. Okay? This is what he has done. That's the line that I'm saying I think is crossed.
Now, I need to ask you this too, but we got to take the break first. All right, we got to take the break first. But I want you to keep this in mind. Question that I'm going to ask you, and you can come back after and tell me. All the judges in Orleans Parish, they basically recused themselves,
That's
right?
correct.
Was that a good move or not?
We'll talk about that when we come
All right.
back.
More coming up, y'all. Everybody hold tight.
Come close. No, closer. Have you heard about the new blues show? It's the Blues Buffet with Jay Boogie, serving up all the blues you love to listen to.
Hey, New Orleans, it's Jay Boogie inviting you to join me for the Blues Buffet, the best soul blues mix on the planet. Happening Saturday night at 9 o'clock, right here at 12:30 a.m. WBOK, what New Orleans is talking about.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Did you hear the news? Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom has a new time. Catch us now every Wednesday at noon. Same program, same great conversations. Just a new time. So catch Dr. Clark's 101 The Living Classroom this Wednesday and every Wednesday only on WBOK. What New Orleans is talking about.
This is The Law and Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Comparing the cost of will, successions, and trusts.
A will might only be a few $100s, but your family could end up paying more in legal fees.
Trust costs more upfront, but saves time, stress, and potentially thousands.
Think of it as paying a little now to avoid a big bill later Smart planning means big savings for your family. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
WBOK.
Better pay attention.
Powered by Cox Business. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, we're back. It's Wednesday. In the building, the attorney extraordinaire. And we definitely have questions about some of the moves that have been made legally. My question was the information that we all know about. All the judges in Orleans Parish recused themselves. Now they got to go and get this judge, Chasson, to become the judge for this issue. My question to you was, should all those judges have recused themselves, and what would be their questioning on if you said, why would you recuse yourself? Everybody knows who Liz is. She's the Attorney General. So do you have something that you're trying a case for her or something of that sort to make you say, oh, I need to recuse myself because this could be damaging to her case or something that you've done? I don't know. But I'm saying, why would all the judges recuse themselves?
Well, based on the public reporting, the judges did not recuse themselves because they believed they had done anything wrong or because they believed Attorney General Merrill's defense was correct.
Mm-hmm.
The stated reason was that their own connections to Attorney General Merrill and her office created or could create questions about impartiality. The case was initially signed to Judge Angel Harris, and she recused herself. Thereafter, all 12 judges of the Orleans Criminal District Court recused themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The recusal orders reportedly cited their cases that were already pending in front of them or connections involving Murrell as a basis for stepping aside. After the entire bench recused itself, then the Louisiana Supreme Court appointed the Fifth Circuit Judge Robert Chasson, he's retired, to preside over the case. Now, although each judge may have had a different reason and several possible grounds were consistent with Louisiana law for recusing themselves, this was a very highly unusual move
For the bench?
for an entire criminal district court bench to recuse itself from a single criminal case. I think that's one reason why the Supreme Court had to step in and assign a judge to move forward with it. Do I think that they really did have an issue that raised to the level of needing to recuse themselves? No, I don't. I think that.
And wouldn't that be stated?
Yeah, because Louisiana has a body of law that says when judges have to recuse themselves, what kinds of conflicts or potential conflicts of interest create a situation where a judge should recuse him or herself. And I really don't see that as being a factual situation for the entirety of the bench. I think that they recused themselves because the block was hot.
They didn't want to be involved.
And they didn't want to be involved.
Well,
and, you know.
So they just left Leon sitting up there by himself.
I'm telling you, I don't think they automatically had to recuse themselves simply because Liz Murrell was the defendant or because she had cases pending in front of them. I don't think that is part of the need for mandatory recusation under Louisiana law. The other issue would have been that she was related to some of the judges in the first or second degree, I think it is, and she's not. I don't think that these the recusation rules actually applied, other than quote unquote an appearance of impropriety, which is a very broad statement. Do I think they should have recused themselves? No, I don't think they all should have.
Well, impropriety.
Yeah, the appearance of impropriety. So let's say, I'll give you an example, real life example. So, my husband had two uncles who sat on the civil district court bench. I'm not related to them by blood. They didn't have to recuse on that basis.
Right.
But sometimes they would recuse themselves from some of my cases if a defense counsel raised an issue about about me being a lawyer practicing in front of them on a case.
Right.
It appeared, it can give an appearance of impropriety, even though there is none.
Okay.
Okay.
Just because
That's
of the
what they
relation
leaned on.
between your husband, you, and them.
And the issue in front of a jury that you have a lawyer whose last
Right.
name is Bagnaris and the judge's last name is Bagnaris. And, you know, it might
Right.
make
Are you
the jury
also kin?
think I have more credibility than my opponent.
Right.
That's what they mean by appearance of impropriety, right?
Mhm.
Not that there actually is a problem, but that a juror, a fact finder could perceive there is a problem.
And they probably would dig.
Well, even if they dug, we're not related.
Right.
You know, but just because of an appearance, sometimes they might recuse themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that. But here, I think the block was hot
And they ain't want to be a part of
and
it.
they didn't want to be a part of it. And now that they've all backed out,
Let me
now
give you
we've got
somebody
this
else.
judge from Jefferson Parish coming over here to preside over this case in Orleans Parish.
So this is going to end up being conservative.
Well, I would think so.
Now, to me, in my little bitty knowledge that I have of the law, I looked at it and said this was the opportunity for these judges to take control of what all of them, I think, pretty much know that that letter was intimidating. And if they know that that letter was intimidating, why would you back away from it except you were scared?
Well, also, there's an interesting legal question lurking. You know, some lawyers have questioned whether an entire court should recuse absent individualized reasons being expressed, because judges also have a duty not to recuse themselves without sufficient cause.
And this was personal.
Right. And so courts generally recognize two competing principles. A judge must recuse themselves when impartiality can reasonably be questioned. But a judge also has a duty to hear cases when no valid ground for recusal exists. So whether the Orleans judges struck the right balance is ultimately a matter, I guess, for a higher court to determine. In my opinion, I don't think they had to recuse themselves. I don't think the grounds for recusation actually existed with respect to all of them. But I think the block was hot.
That's funny that you would have that same analogy, because we have not talked about this.
No, we have not talked about this.
This is the first time ever that we brought this up, but we're thinking the same.
Right.
Because I just think they were scared.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to be a part of that.
I don't want to be a part of that, because then they might target me, because, you know, they also got these laws saying if they think I'm doing something improper, they can remove me.
Right.
See, now we see the fear of that law and how that law can be used
Right.
as a weapon to intimidate judges from doing things that they automatically otherwise would not have done.
So the other part of that makes me go a little bit further. And that is, we see what the outcome is for this, but how come you all didn't step up and do your research as a judge to find out what Judge Fuller found? Judge Fuller found that, hey, there is a loophole here that needs to be brought up that says, I can run for my seat. My seat is not going to be thrown out, because I'm going to find me a judge, number one, that can put together a TRO to say that y'all need to find out, is this law from 1974 going to stand that you didn't have 2/3 of the House and even more of the Senate before you can say you can get rid of these judges?
Let me tell you something. When John Fuller came to this station and sat in that chair over there, I told you that brother was a bad...
Shut your
mouth. He is a legal scholar and a litigator. And I am very proud of him for the work that he has done.
And I got to tell you, he knew then when he sat here what he was getting ready to put in front of a judge.
But good for him.
But he made sure.
Sometimes you got to slow walk.
Sometimes you just got to slow walk and keep it to yourself.
That's right.
And don't give the don't give the I guess the defense any type of nothing.
He is a smart guy. Judge Fuller argued that Act 748, which is formerly Senate Bill 217, was never validly enacted because it did not receive the constitutionally required number of votes in the legislature after it was amended. This young brother used their own constitution against them
to knock them down.
And the argument works like this. The legislature passed a bill reducing the Orleans Parish Criminal District Court from 12 to 9 judges. During the conference committee, the bill was changed to eliminate specific sections A, E, and J rather than using the early criteria, which bumped out Rhonda Good Douglas instead of Rochette.
And Levine.
Judge Fuller contends that those changes affected a local court in a manner that required a 2/3 vote under the Louisiana Constitution. And he argued the bill did not receive the supermajority so that it was signed by the governor. It could never be constitutionally enacted. What a smart move, right? And a Baton Rouge District Court judge recently agreed that Fuller and the other affected judges had shown enough to justify temporary relief or a temporary restraining order while the courts decide whether the law was validly enacted. So he hasn't won the war yet.
But
he won the battle.
He did win the battle. But my problem with the battle is, why are you on the battlefield by yourself?
I have a problem with that too. I think that other people need to join him.
Right.
They need to join him and they need to give support to this brother. He's a powerhouse all by himself, but he could be a movement if y'all were together. Right?
But why am I not only I'm saving myself, yes, but I'm also looking around and saying, well, I saved you too. So what you gonna do?
Right.
Why aren't you with him?
And look, I got to give the Baton Rouge District Court judge props too. Because he ain't scared, right? He's ruling based upon the law that is in front of him. And I'm sure that a lot of pressure is being put on him as well. I think that, Fuller has done a good job. But I want people to recognize this. Even if Fuller wins this argument, and even if these 3 judges' seats are temporarily protected, if you don't think these people are going to come back in the next legislative session and try to do this thing again,
they coming
with the votes stacked in their favor,
and y'all need to start working.
It will happen
now.
Again. So they need to start working now.
Yep. All right, we got to take a break here. We'll get you ready for the 5 o'clock hour in just a few minutes here. We got to do news, and we'll be right back. Get your calls in 504-582-9422.
Campus of Xavier University. WBOK Go and Equity Media Station.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. A new report claims district attorneys in Austin, Dallas, and San Antonio, Texas are declining to enforce some state laws. Texas Governor Greg Abbott.
There's no reason why a district attorney should be in a different category than every other elected official in the state of Texas.
He says the findings support new proposals that could allow impeachment proceedings against elected prosecutors. Senator Raphael Warnock and Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens are celebrating a new federal housing law aimed at helping renters become homeowners. The bipartisan measure boosts housing construction and limits corporate ownership of single-family homes to improve affordability. And Louis Charles Malone, one of the first Black U.S. Marines and a World War II veteran, has died at age 103. The Alabama native spent decades as an educator, coach, principal, and community leader, leaving a lasting legacy of service. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. The attorney extraordinaire, Suzette Bagnaris. Yours truly, Gerard Stevens, on your radio for Hump Day Wednesday. Leon, what's happening with you?
What's going on, Gerard?
How you doing?
Oh, man, look here. I just want to call y'all. Thank y'all for y'all doing. But I know they listening to y'all show, the judges, their staff, all these people listening. But Gerard, I've been talking to a lot of New Orleans people, a lot of the citizens, and they pissed off at them judges. And this is a message from Leon, from the community. Don't unpack your bags, because we're going to remember y'all on the next election, because y'all cowardism toward doing the right thing for New Orleans. All y'all didn't have to step down, but if you had to step down from dealing with this case, you should have had an explanation. And I agree with y'all on that. And we watching, people actually watching, paying attention, Gerard, because a lot of people investing in the judges, because, we got crime stuff going on, juveniles, you're doing a lot. But also family members go through that court, and they see how they treat their family members. So we watching everything y'all doing. I'm letting you know, you ain't got no excuse. Just don't unpack your bags. It's your last go round.
There you go.
Thank you for taking my call.
All right, Leon. Yes,
I'm going
indeed.
to say this. Leadership in the midst of extreme adversity is very difficult. This is why we had one Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one Malcolm X, one Ralph Abernathy. We didn't have thousands of them. We had one.
But I think leadership in extreme adversity, you can't tell me you're a leader 1 minute and running scared the next minute.
And I agree. That's what I was saying.
But if you are in a leadership position, you got to stand as that leadership position. Judges are in leadership positions to make life-changing decisions every day. That is a leadership position. You can't make these decisions on whether I'm free or I'm going to be incarcerated, even for life, and then run scared the next minute.
Leadership is easy when everybody agrees with you. Leadership is easy when the economy is strong, the headlines are favorable, every decision is celebrated, and the wind is blowing at your back and catapulting you forward. But the true measure of leadership is revealed in the midst of controversy. It's when the criticism is loud, when the pressure is relentless.
When the book hits the damn ground.
Yeah, when every when every decision is being second guessed,
right.
When we're being pushed back decades in our civil rights struggle.
And then people losing
our rights.
And we're looking around and saying, well, where are they?
Well, real leaders don't hide from controversy. And that's what we're seeing right now in real time.
Right.
We're seeing it with our mayor. We're seeing it with our city council. We're seeing it with our state representatives and state senators when everything was going down in Baton Rouge, meeting with the opposition and partying with them.
Yep.
We're seeing it in real time. Real leaders don't hide from controversy, and they don't just stand up at microphones to give sound bites.
Sound bites don't mean nothing.
They lead with their neck on the line. What we do here every day, okay, is putting our neck on the line to speak truth to power. And there are a lot of people who give us a lot of crap behind it. Okay? But that's what leadership is. And that's why this station is so important, because we're shining a light on things that really matter to our community and saying things that need to be said even when it's in the face of adversity.
We're the other answer.
Exactly.
Yep. Galloway.
What's going on, Brother Gerard?
What's happening with you, doctor?
Counselor?
How you doing?
I want to correct y'all on one thing.
Go right
the
ahead.
Station. You said the station. I want to correct you and say this show. It's called the Reality Check. Out of all the shows on this radio station, you putting truth to power. You ain't inviting people on there and afraid for them to answer a question or ask the hard question. You ain't invite a bunch of goofballs on there to give you some crazy scenario. So thank y'all for that. Before I talk about the judge situation, I want to give y'all an update about Nolan Wells, Gerard, the case that you have been talking about for a while.
Yes, sir.
Now, I've never in my life heard of this at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. They wanted to charge that young man's family $89,000 to host a funeral. They don't charge monster trucks that type of money.
Mm-hmm.
They don't charge concerts that type of money. They looked and seen of how all the black celebrities and who's donated money to them. The GoFundMe has reached it should be over 700,000 now. And the Gulf Coast Coliseum director, he's a white bigot named Sam. He wanted to get $89,000 from that family.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good business. It's not a good look for Mississippi. So they're gonna actually have the funeral Monday at Center Point Church in Ocean Springs with a repast at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. The investigation, Ben Crump met with the DA finally today. I want to tell you how crooked these people are in Mississippi and across the South. Do you know that the family hadn't talked to any investigator or the DA for 7 days? The only time they've ever had any contact, the mother reached out to the district attorney and investigators. That was 7 days ago. Now, what came out of the press conference today, after all the information is gathered about what happened on the beach, they're going to present it to a grand jury. And wherever it goes from there, that's where it goes. Now, they're playing games with the state. The state is playing games with the autopsy. The state will not release their autopsy, and I don't blame Benjamin Crump either. I'm not going to release mine until you release yours. Because they're trying to sit there and say, it's going to be this, that. Because there's so much rumors floating around. But we had this, and no, we the state, we had that. That's what it's going to come down to. The cell phone issue. Benjamin Crump agreed to give that cell phone while his investigative team is watching them. But he also stated, if I got to give up this cell phone, everybody that was there on that boat got to give up their cell phone, which I think is fair.
Yep.
So that's where we at with that. I will be going down there this weekend doing my investigating, reporting for the Black Press, and I cannot wait. I have not ruffled some hillbilly fellas in a long time, man.
Are you going to the funeral?
No, I'm not. I don't. Like I said, I personally don't know those people. Now my brother will be there. You know, he's a cop down there, so but I don't know them personally. But investigating wise, I know some folks that know some folks that I get to talk to. And I ain't talking none of this internet stuff. When you talk to somebody like me, I don't have to give your name, but your testimony, I'm telling you, is going into the newspaper. So if you don't want to give your testimony, don't talk to me.
Right.
But to some people that want to get their stuff out, that are scared, from what I'm understanding, there are some people that know those boys, because these are some spoiler entitled rich kids. They have a boat docked in their backyard. They don't need no trailers. They boat is docked in their backyard. They have a pier going to the Mississippi Sound. So you ain't dealing with no little poor white trash. You're dealing with some folks that got a little money.
Right.
Mother's a judge.
They got the privilege.
That's what I hear. That's the person to watch, is what I'm hearing. The stepmother, who is a judge, who had her yacht impeccably cleaned.
At 3 in the morning.
At 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yes.
Okay? That seems to be the person that people need to ask some questions of. Why did your yacht need to be cleaned at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Shouldn't there be, and shouldn't have the sheriff, from a legal aspect, the sheriff or even the defense, shouldn't attorneys say, please don't touch any of this? This could be evidence.
Gerard, how they got around that? They never treated this as a crime.
It could have been a crime scene. The yacht could have been a crime scene.
Yes, but they treated this as a missing person. When you do missing person versus foul play, which would have been a crime scene, then all that stuff should have been. See, they made it seem like that their friend was just missing. They don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as more people started poking in, they still have not treated this as a crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
They still have not seized the young men's cell phones. They have barely talked to anybody that's willing to say something. Most people have talked to the investigator and said, hey, look, I was there. I left at this time. He was not riding with me. That's the people that came forward so far. But the quote unquote best friend, that Tristan Shepard guy who went on ABC,
right.
The mother had to come back and correct him and say, sir, I don't know you. Thank you for your condolences, but you've never been to my house. So he stopped talking once she said, you're telling a lie about you knowing my son like that. She said, now, they might have hung out in high school or football or whatever, but she said for his best friend, she said that's a stretch.
That's the little black guy?
Tristan, that's Javon Williams, the one with the TMZ you talk about.
Okay.
Now Tristan is he is one of those I think he's biracial.
Yeah.
But he prefers to be MAGA. See, he got caught with pictures of him with a MAGA hat on with a F Joe Biden T-shirt. So look what you're dealing with.
Wow.
So the football coach that coached Nolan, the assistant football coach that no longer works at Ocean Springs, I don't understand how y'all going to TMZ to give these interviews, and when they ask you about race, y'all throw y'all hands up like y'all so scared to say, hey, yeah, it's racial problems in Mississippi, in Ocean Springs. And then, he goes to say, you look at his interviews like, well, I don't think it's no racism because they all grew up together. I'm saying to myself, you know how many people grow up with their parents and shoot and kill them?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you think that is the reason why it wouldn't be no racism and no problem there. You got another thing coming, man. But, when I get down there Friday, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm telling you, Gerard, I got my walking shoes on for this one.
So where are you going Friday?
Ocean Springs. I'm actually going to Ocean Springs. That is where the people live.
Right. So what are you going to be doing in Ocean Springs?
Interviewing and talking to people that was actually on the island.
Okay. I ain't gonna we ain't gonna have to come get you out, are we?
You might have to come get plan a funeral for a few of them if they say something crazy. No, I ain't.
I want to say something though that people are not saying out loud. Okay, and look at Gerard looking at me, kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This case should be a cautionary tale for every black parent.
We have this every year.
As a black parent, there's one question that weighs heavily on my mind. Are we having honest conversations with ourselves and with our black children about the environments that they place themselves in?
Mm-hmm.
Every parent needs to have a conversation with their children about the fact that you still black when you're in that environment with all the white friends, thinking you're doing all the white things. And I said white, not right. Okay? Are we having conversations about race and racial biases and prejudice with our children today? I know those conversations were had with us when we were teenagers.
Well, I think
they being held with young people now?
I think they are having those conversations, but they have them in a different form. And that different form is not what we're seeing today. So we've got to be able to say, I need to have this type of conversation with my child, but I also need to have this type of conversation with my child. So the first type of conversation I say that we have, and we had to learn to have these conversations, is I need to talk to my sister. I need to talk to all the folks in my family about our young folks that are related to you, me, and everybody else, and tell them this conversation is about you going out, but I need you to be able to come back home.
Correct. We have our conversations with our young black men now about what to do when being stopped by the police.
I need you to be able to leave and go have fun, but I need you to be able to come home.
But now we need to talk to them about what you do when you go hang out with all your white friends.
When you do go out with your white friends, what's your exit plan? Or if something does go wrong, how do you handle it?
And I'm not saying that we should distrust a group of people solely based on race.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the message I'm trying to send here. But just like we have these difficult conversations with our black kids about driving while black and encounters with the police, I think we also need to start having conversations with them about existing while black in completely white spaces and surviving that encounter as well.
Right.
I would say this. When I was coming up, and I'm pretty sure y'all was coming up, your parents or grandparents, somebody told you about the story of Emmett Till. Emmett Till was ingrained into our head. I think we as parents forgot to give some of us the message about what happened to Emmett Till.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think that parents sit there and talk to their kids after they seen what happened to Trayvon Martin, who was minding his business and was attacked. You would think that they would change the conversation from Emmett Till to Trayvon Martin. And as what happened to Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, that's not even long ago when he was lynched for looking in a house.
He just went to go and he got shot. He got shot by a man and his son.
I mean, look, we need to prepare our children, not just academically or athletically, but socially and situationally. They need to recognize when they are in certain situations that they are vulnerable.
Yeah.
Very vulnerable. Hey, before I say, I want to say this. Cedric was speaking truth to power today. When Cedric asked that question, who invited the state legislator auditor into New Orleans business? That was Helena Moreno and J.P. Morrell. Now, both of them have put their tails between their legs and cowered and begging for the state to leave them two alone.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if they mess with those judges. And shout out to Judge Fuller. The utmost respect for him and Alonzo Knox and what's his name? The brother that ran for mayor. His name forget me, man. But those three black men are standing up and actually fighting. And Judge Fuller, if you run for mayor of New Orleans, if your judgeship don't work out, I think you're going to be the answer that the black community needs to wake up. Because we seeing the fight in you.
Mm-hmm.
You're the only judge that's sitting up there saying you are not going to take my stuff. So, Judge Fuller, if your people listen, if your judgeship don't work out, I will happy to get on your campaign and do what you need to do for you to become mayor. Hey, thanks for taking my call, y'all. World Cup is over with. You know, I got a to-do list. That grouchy woman coming up in here, and I got to clean and do all this other stuff, man. So
you got a honey-do list? You got a honey-do list. All right.
Don't rub it in, man. I'm still got some six word up in me now. Go on somewhere now.
All right, honey-do. I hear you. I ain't mad at you, bro. I ain't mad at you. All right, Galloway, we'll holler. Yes, indeed. More coming up, y'all. We got to take a break here. We'll take the break. Chris, hold your horses, brother. You up next. More coming up.
It's off the top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
As America celebrates our 250th birthday, I continue to reflect not only on where we are, but how we got here. Like millions of Americans, I am deeply proud of this nation. Make no mistake about it, I am proud to be an African American, and I am equally proud to be an American. And those two identities are not in conflict. They strengthen one another. Yet I worry that the story being told about our nation's founding has become too narrow, a move by some to erase or whitewash our history. It sometimes suggests that the birth of American freedom belonged to only one people, one culture, or one experience. History tells us something far richer and far more diverse. From the earliest days of the struggle for independence, African Americans, indigenous people, and immigrants stood beside the colonists in the fight for liberty. Some fought as free men, others fought while still enslaved, believing that the ideals proclaimed in 1776 would one day include all of us. Historian Henry Louis Gates Jr. has documented the indispensable role of people of African descent, played in the Revolutionary era. Retired Lieutenant General Russell Honore has likewise reminded audiences that the Continental Army drew strength from people of many backgrounds. That truth should not make any American uncomfortable. It should make every American proud. Because the foundation of this republic was never built by one race alone. It was built by people of different colors, cultures, languages, and faiths who shared a common belief that freedom was worth fighting for. America's strength has never come from uniformity. It has come from people of different races, cultures, and faiths choosing to build one nation together. That is our history, that is our promise, and that is the America worth celebrating. This is Norman Robinson off the top.
Attention, WBOK listeners. Are you a fan of the station and want to show your support in style? Well, we've got some exciting news for you. Introducing the official WBOK merchandise, the perfect way to wear your love for the station. Whether you're a longtime listener or a new fan, we've got something for everyone. Head to WBOK1230.com now and grab your WBOK gear before it's gone. When you buy WBOK merch, you're not just getting quality items, you're supporting the station you love.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton. Losing a loved one is tough enough. Do you really want your family dealing with court battles and paperwork on top of it?
Whether you choose a will or a trust, think ahead. Take care of your family. Let them focus on healing instead of headaches. This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another open enrollment update. Who do I have on the line today?
Hi, you're speaking with Vanessa Scott of BSG of Louisiana.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is open enrollment?
The open enrollment period is for Medicare members that want to change from one plan to another.
Why is open enrollment so important?
Because a lot of people missed out on the annual enrollment period. So they need to have a one-on-one review.
And if you have questions or concerns about your Medicare plans, what should you do?
You just pick up the phone, call 504-621-3687. We even come out to your house. Zero cost to them.
Get with BSG of Louisiana for your Medicare review. For church groups, senior communities, or disability organizations, call 504-621-3687. We are an independent insurance agency providing information about Medicare-related insurance plans. We are not connected or endorsed by Medicare or the U.S. government.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM. Here we go. The reality check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. The attorney extraordinaire in the building, having some conversation with you. That is Suzette Bagnaris. And, of course, you got yours truly, Gerard Stevens, with you. You got Chris on line one. What you say, Chris?
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on with you? You on the road or something, brother?
Yeah, you know, I'm on the move.
Yes, indeed. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I think this is, I think the unfortunate death of this young man, I think, is a constant reminder of how some of us, and I mean us as in some black folks, we take our best and brightest and put them in these white environments where we are not welcome, we are not appreciated, we're not poured into the way in which they would be had they brought them to situations where there are predominantly black institutes. I think New Orleans is in an interesting place. Be it that I'm not from here, when I moved here, the level of pride, the level of history that has gone into and that has been kept with with predominantly black, exclusively black institutions of education for our youth I feel like it's one and few. I don't know of many, especially in the South. I mean, correct me if I'm, please, call those other states that have uh, these types of high schools, middle schools, things like that. I just think it's a reminder. I went to a predominantly white high school. I went to a predominantly white middle school. A lot of the things that, if it wasn't for my family, I could have possibly ended up in situations like that.
What about those
like
people though, Chris, that say we don't or I don't see color?
If you don't see color, then you're choosing to live.
You're in a bubble.
In a false reality.
Mm-hmm.
I think the goal isn't to teach a child to fear people because of their race.
No.
But the goal is to prepare them to navigate environments where they may be the only person who shares their ethnicity, to help them to stay safe, confident, and connected and aware in that space.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Recently I was sharing with Gerod off air, my grandson, who's 10, was invited to go this summer on an overnight camping trip with his football team where he was going to be the only black child.
Absolutely not.
And there were 2 white men, parents, who were going to be chaperoning. And my daughter brought the conversation to me and my husband, saying, what do you think about this? Do you think I should let him go? And what we came to, and to my daughter's credit, what she insisted upon was that my grandson could not go unless his father also
could go,
and was a chaperoning parent. And this camping trip was going to be in Alabama, okay? And my daughter made the right move, and she respectfully told them, I'm sorry, but if my husband cannot go along as a chaperone, we're going to have to sit this one out.
Absolutely.
And at first they gave her pushback, saying, well, we already have 2 parents. He'll be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter had to stand up for her black son and say, well, I'm sorry. We just don't feel comfortable with him going without his father.
Yep.
I would have made that same decision.
Absolutely. We make those decisions all the time. I think especially in the academic realm, in the sports realm, things of that nature. And if your son is playing, any of the, baseball, golf, tennis,
that's the same. That's the
like
same
that.
decision I made for my daughter. My daughter played and went everywhere. They went, and guess who went with them? If I didn't ride the bus, I drove my car.
We cannot be pressured or intimidated into thinking that we're blowing it out of proportion, or we're we're judging them based upon race. No, what we're doing is protecting our most vulnerable people in our lives, our children and our grandchildren.
Protection looks different for us.
It does look different for us.
Completely different for us.
It does. And
a lot of people don't understand that.
They really don't. And I think you need to encourage your child or grandchild to pay attention to the dynamics of the group. Are they being included? Are they being respected? Do they feel comfortable speaking up? Are others looking out for one another, but they're not looking out for them, and they're encouraging them to take more risk? Before your child spends significant time in an unfamiliar environment, you've got to really meet the parents, meet the coaches, meet the teachers, meet the other adults, and ask questions and let them know what your expectations are for the treatment of your child in that setting. And, we also need to trust our instincts. If something feels wrong, feels uncomfortable or unsafe,
go with your gut.
Go with your gut.
Yeah.
Go with your gut. Ain't nothing wrong with you going with your gut. You may have to even have a conversation with your child that's going to push back on you, because your child want to go. They don't understand, and they'll push back on you. But guess what? She or he will get over it.
I think we're also learning that when we send our children into these spaces or even out into the world when it's not an all-white environment, we need to have a regular plan for check-ins. Okay, my entire family, as Gerard knows, is on Life 360.
Mm-hmm.
And we monitor each other's every move. The entire family, even my adult children, are on there with my husband and I.
Chris,
Okay,
I'm surprised I'm not on it.
you should be.
No, no.
It's a
Oh,
safety
Gerard,
factor.
Gerard, you know you top flight security. Come on now.
I'm talking like.
But y'all, it's a safety factor, okay? In this day and age, in this environment where we got ICE just removing people for no reason off the street,
And shooting them.
okay? Where we got people just shooting people driving down an interstate. In this environment that we're living in, where people of color are open season against us, I think we all need to have a plan for regular check-ins. And we need to tell each other, I'm gonna text you at a certain time. If I send you this word, I'm in trouble.
Yep.
Okay? We need to start doing these things for one another because we got to have each other's back.
Yep. Somebody got to have your back.
We got to protect each other.
And I think that's to your point in the notion of having one's back, right? I think this ultimately goes back to community, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this also goes back to, I think, what's happening right now with the city of New Orleans, really the city versus the government of Louisiana. That's that's ultimately.
Well,
where
your
we
governor
are.
is saying that. The governor is telling you that things have changed. It used to be, if the city of New Orleans goes down, there goes the state. Now, he's trying to reverse it, and I just think it's a ploy to sound more like a daddy, Trump. Because if the city of New Orleans goes down, the remainder of this state is going to be in trouble. We supply over $467 million to this state, and that's not even off-record money. I'm talking about what is being seen. And this $467 million that we supply to this state, the closest to even coming to that amount is maybe $120 million.
Yep. Yeah, I read about the numbers in that regard, and I just want to say this message to the folks that, in particular, the folks in New Orleans East, do not sell your property. If you see a need, a community need in New Orleans East, take the risk and fill the need.
Right.
Because there are people there, there are families there. I'm one of them.
Look, anybody that's telling me, though, Chris, the fact that we're going to put together this plan to make New Orleans East more business friendly and all this other stuff, and they're going to invest this money, I'm still a little shy of that because I need to see what the plan is. I haven't seen that plan.
I'm saying something a little bit different, Gerard.
Yeah.
Despite what the government does, despite what the city or the state does, if you have the means to fill a need in New Orleans East, fill it. That is what I'm saying.
Okay.
That is what I'm saying. If you have owned property in New Orleans East, do not sell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what happens, a lot of the real estate that is not being used is being written off. These realtors that are representing a lot of the property owners aren't even telling the property owners that people are interested in leasing their building.
Oh, wow. Because
they're trying to hold out for the development that keeps being projected. So what I'm saying is to the people that want to aspire and want to open up business, get the information that you're able to talk directly to the property owner.
Mm-hmm.
Get your own realtor representation. And you have to do that legwork yourself and get that middleman out of the way.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Okay.
I've done it.
All right,
and
Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, so to that, that's just my point. I'm going to get off because I know y'all got the roll.
All right,
But,
brother.
Yeah,
Be careful
tight,
on that
y'all.
road.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Talk to you in a minute. All right, James.
Hey, everybody made some great points, and I'm glad the last caller took it into this realm because I want to know what would it look like if the city canceled all major events moving forward in terms of tax collection for the state. Because if we canceled and focused on our infrastructure, cancel Mardi Gras so we don't have to spend that money on cleanup and security and other things, and let just regular tourism happen organically, and those festivals, shut some of those down, just close it down for a little while and see what happens. What would the state say then about how special New Orleans is? And is that even possible? Am I just speaking out of emotion, or am I onto something?
Well, here's the thing. I think you raised a very interesting policy thought experiment, but it would have very broad consequences. If New Orleans decided to cancel major revenue generating events such as Mardi Gras parades, Jazz Fest related city events, Essence Festival support, Bayou Classic activities, or other large festivals with the goal of reducing state tax revenue or making a political statement, here's what I think it would look like. The city would hurt itself first, because the immediate impact would fall on hotel workers, restaurant workers, bartenders, musicians, Uber and tax drivers, street vendors, retail businesses, event staff, and small businesses that depend on tourism. And the majority of these workers are Black or Hispanic, and they rely on this for a significant portion of their annual income, right? Yep. The city would lose significant revenue because New Orleans receives substantial revenue from hotel occupancy taxes, sales taxes, parking, permits, convention activity, and airport traffic. So canceling these events would reduce not only state tax collections, but also the city's own revenues at a time where we're already not standing on our own 2 feet. Now, the state would lose revenue too, because Louisiana does benefit from state sales taxes, hotel taxes, income taxes generated by tourism.
More than the city
and
does.
Increased economic activity.
Right. And
So,
that's my point. More than the city. More than the city. Gee, you said we make it. You said it out loud without saying it. We damn near make $1 billion by ourselves.
Oh, look, we produce hundreds of millions of dollars and in some cases billions of dollars in statewide economic impact. So there could be long-term consequences, I think you raised an interesting question. Are we willing to lose all of the rest of our Black lower middle class? Because that's what I think this economic bracket would be. After Katrina, we lost our Black middle class for the most part. Mm-hmm. They couldn't come back. They couldn't survive, and they got jobs elsewhere. Are we willing to risk losing all of these workers to prove this point?
I'm not willing to speak for that segment of the population. They have to do it on their own.
Yeah, and my question is, will we lose some culture? I mean, these are culture bearers, right? When we're talking about musicians and bartenders and street vendors, we're talking about culture bearers.
We are about to lose culture anyway.
Yeah.
If you look around, the culture is rapidly leaving, and those that are fighting to stay here are capable to fight.
So
like
we almost
said,
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
We may need to explore this on a larger show. This issue.
That's why I'm saying, if I know I can't beat you, I'm still going to punch you in your freaking mouth first to let you know I ain't to be played with the next time you think you're going to come around here with that bull.
Well, we may need to explore this on a show all by itself.
Mm-hmm.
That topic.
Right on.
I think it's a good question.
Rest in peace to the young brothers that we lost recently and in the past to white violence, white on black violence.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna leave it there.
All right, James.
James raises a very interesting question.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
New Orleans is Louisiana's economic engine.
All right, Eric.
Hey, God bless you all. How you doing?
What's going on?
Good. Yeah, I think in terms of dealing with the Nolan Wells situation, and there's quite a few other cases, just not here. There's about 4 or 5 other cases I've heard of young African-American children being drowned or being hunted down in the woods. we have to continue to support our own black-owned institutions that some of them have been around since 1916. For example, the American Tennis Association. That's an organization that sponsors African Americans becoming more involved in learning tennis and presenting tennis tournaments. And it's a safe environment where African Americans can take their young children and adults also can participate in activities without being hunted down. So that's the American Tennis Association. You have the Black African Americans that RV and camp. They provide information in terms of there are actually black-owned campsites throughout the United States. And camping can be a very dangerous situation for a young black person going, a white group going out into the woods. Well, there are black-owned campsites throughout the United States. That's the Black African Americans that RV and camp. And then you have the Black Swimmers Alliance. That's another organization, black-owned, in which they sponsor teaching young individuals and also adults too how to swim. I guess swimming activities and swimming camps also. So these are various African-American-owned organizations that we have to strongly support and make them very viable organizations so that we can participate in whatever activity that we want to without being fearful or being harmed. I'm sure there's also some Black Scuba Divers Associations, Black Archery Associations. So there's a lot of organizations that we can get involved in that we need to strongly support so that we can safely participate in those activities and develop our skills in those areas.
I do think that we got to support those organizations. The only problem that I have with that, Eric, is the fact that not only should we talk about them and say we need to support them, but how do we put together the general support of an organization that gets the majority of the people to support it? I don't want just some people to support it, and just because it's a good idea, it still struggles to stay viable.
Right.
We don't have these conversations every day about here's what I want my child to do this summer. I want my child to go to a camp that has archery, or I want my child to go to, because what we're doing is, I think we're killing ourselves by not putting our kids in places that have kids that look like them. We put our kids in places that don't look like them because they're more accessible.
Right.
So if I wanted to put my child in an archery camp, is there an archery camp here, or do I need to go to another state? Or do I need to go to another parish or another county? I need to be able to say that it's going to be something that is accessible, that my child, look, if I can't take you to the place to be able to do archery today, how you going to get there? We've got to be able to put these things together and put them together and say they're going to be viable and I guess a little bit more convenient for our children, and be able to say, hey, I can put you here. I want you to go here. I want to be able to meet who the person is that's teaching it. Are you qualified? We need to know all these different issues.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
A good idea is just that, a good idea. Putting it into what your surroundings are is not only a good idea, it's a great idea.
Well, I think, too, when we're putting our kids in these environments where they're the minority, children have to have a strong sense of who they are, often better, when they do have a strong sense of who they are, they're better equipped to handle being the only one.
Right.
So we need to also celebrate our children's heritage, encourage pride in their identity, remind them that they never need to minimize themselves to fit in.
Right.
In a group. And depending on your child's age, we have to have age-appropriate conversations about the possibility that people may make assumptions about you based on your race that are not true.
Right.
And we need to pair those conversations with practical guidance.
Know who you are.
About knowing who you are, communicating with your parents when things don't feel right in the group, and documenting or reporting serious concerns that happen when you're in those spaces. You know, our children can't just hold it in. They have to talk to us about what's happening to them in those settings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think this opened a whole conversation here today that we may not have expected to have.
Yeah.
That we may need to explore more and talk more about the organizations that you just raised, because a lot of people may not have known that they exist.
Right. And they have to market their organizations also. So
That's part of it. That's a big part of it. All right, Eric.
Right.
Thank you,
Y'all
my
be
brother.
blessed. Take care.
More coming up, y'all. We got to take our break.
AURN News.
I'm Ebony McMorris. Today on Capitol Hill, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche faces the Senate Judiciary Committee fighting to become President Trump's permanent pick to run the Justice Department. And the math is tight. After Senator Lindsey Graham's sudden death, Republicans cannot afford to lose a single vote on this committee. Blanche, Trump's former personal defense lawyer, is under fire on multiple fronts. DOJ's botched release of the Epstein files, prosecutions of Trump critics like James Comey, Letitia James, and others, and a $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund tied to Trump's IRS lawsuit. And in his prepared remarks, Blanche said he's restoring trust at justice, but Democrats say he's still acting like Trump's personal attorney, not the nation's top law enforcement officer. The question hanging over this hearing is the Justice Department serving the country or serving one man? For AURN News, I'm Ebony McMorris.
Real issues, real talk, real solutions. Miss an episode of The Reality Check? You can catch every episode anytime. Search WBOK Media on your favorite podcast app to tap the bold commentary, real-time reactions, and powerful perspectives from the people and leaders shaping our city. Download, share, and rate it 5 stars, because the real ones always stay informed.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
Hey, have you heard the news? First Pilgrims Baptist Church is now on WBOK 1230 a.m. Tune in every Sunday at 11:30 a.m. to hear Pastor Eugene Mitchell give you the inspiration you need for the week ahead. That's every Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Oh, yeah. WBOK online at WBOK1230.com. Here we go. The Reality Check on WBOK 1230 AM.
All right, folks, welcome back. A few minutes here before we get ready to get out and call it a day for Wednesday, because I forgot what day it was. Interesting conversation, though.
Very interesting conversations we've had today.
Much needed conversation. And you know what I find out, though, is that one of the things I find out is that we become reactionary when tragedy strikes.
Yeah.
And it's somewhat good, but it's not good. We should always have a plan on how we're going to teach, how we're going to make sure, back up. I mean, not only just our kids, but I would say some of our parents as well, because some of our parents do excellent work with putting together stuff for the kids, but they don't have the backups.
Also, though, in this environment that we're living in right now, this mega environment that we're living in, when all our civil liberties are being stripped away from us and we're being targeted and we're even the victims of more violence, I think, we all need plans and systems in place to protect ourselves and to protect one another. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a friend that you're linked on Life 360 with, particularly if you live alone.
Right.
Somebody needs to be able to say where you were last. Okay? That goes for our children who are small, our adult children, our spouses, our friends.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to know where you were last. And unless you're on a mechanism like Life 360 or checking in with each other, somebody once a day at a certain time, who's going to know when you fall off the grid?
Right.
Okay. I think this is a very important question raised today. How do I protect my black child in an all-white environment? How do I protect my black child in a MAGA-driven world?
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to start asking these questions, and I think we need to start having honest conversations like we had today on how we can do these things.
But not with only just the child. I think the parent has got to be a little bit more perceptive and also be able to see, hey, you may not be thinking this way. And the child may be thinking that they are indestructible, but you got to be able to say things happen, and they can happen and not be so good. And parents, if you don't start paying attention or better attention to your child, just make sure that you're looking at the news in the evening time and know where your child is.
Well,
I'll say that.
We have a family group chat.
Mm-hmm.
All my adult children and their spouses are on it. My husband and I, my mother, we're all in this group chat. We communicate with each other daily in this group chat. That's another way to stay connected with people.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because even in a tragic situation, though, my children immediately called me to say, oh, write it in the calendar again. Mama was right. Because I always tell them when something comes up that I told them when they were younger, write it down. Mama was right. You know, they used to give me a lot of pushback when they were young about me saying, you need to have black friends.
Yeah.
You need to hang out with black people. You need to join black organizations. You can't lose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'd push back and say, well, instead of inviting Mary over this weekend, why don't you invite,
your girl?
Your girl,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Now they're seeing what I'm saying and seeing that my comments were not racial, but for protection, for their own protection.
And it's important for you to know your own.
And to have balance.
Yep.
I want you to be able to walk in all environments and feel confident and to feel celebrated and to feel that you can thrive.
Yeah.
But I also need you to know who you are in those environments. And the fact that you have befriended a bunch of white folk don't make you white. The fact that you're married to a white woman or a white man does not make you white.
And if they got to choose on who's going to live and who's going to die, usually they stick together and you're left out. So
I think that's what history has shown us.
It's shown us that. So that's a good conversation. We'll have some more on that. But look, we've been telling you all show today that y'all need to be paying attention to Channel 4 today.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. We're about 4 minutes away from that. Tell everybody to go ahead on and turn on your TVs and get them warmed up, because this is going to be an interesting David Hammer interview.
And I think it's going to be a series. I don't think it's going to be a one and done. I really don't.
And we saw how many times how much info they got. I think they did 2.5, 3 hours of
2.5, 3 hours of straight questions to Chad on
right.
camera, and then they came back for 3 days, including today,
mm-hmm.
asking supplemental questions. Now, look, we don't know what this interview is going to be. We're going to be watching it like you are and watching it unfold.
Yep.
But what I can say is that unlike the other stations, they gave him an opportunity to sit face to face, to answer the questions unfiltered, and to hand in documents supporting all of his contentions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he got a fair shake.
Right.
And that's all you asked for.
Oh, yeah.
In investigative reporting.
And all these folks that are out here that are saying investigative reporter, I'm an investigative reporter, you're not. You're actually just repeating what was given to you by the other side.
Reading allegations does not make you an investigative reporter.
Nope. Nope.
There's a lot more that goes into that. So I will be tuning in WWL at 6 p.m. for the Chad Cockerham interview with David Hammer. I think it will be insightful. And we have, as I stated to David Hammer, we have nothing to hide, and we have receipts.
Got receipts. And then on Friday at 9 a.m., part 2 of the civil service hearing. What's the address?
1340 Poydras Street, 9th floor.
And it's open to the public.
Open to the public.
All right. That's going to wrap things up for us for Wednesday. I appreciate everybody for being a part of the conversation. We'll more than likely discuss tomorrow what y'all saw in this interview today. Make sure you hear. Make sure you hear at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, y'all. Other than that, say bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. It was great being back. I missed y'all. Stay safe.
All right, everybody, be good. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock right here on WBOK.